28 years of marriage, and she found out on a Tuesday morning, the most ordinary Tuesday of her life. She was standing at the same stove she had stood at 10,000 times before, making the same breakfast she had made for a man who had apparently been living a completely different life behind her back. And the cruelest part was not the betrayal itself, but the fact that she was not even surprised. Deep down, that told her everything about how long she had been ignoring the warnings her own heart had been sending her for years. She had given that man the best version of herself, the young version, the hopeful version. The version that believed love meant showing up every single day without being asked. And she had shown up perfectly, consistently, loyally for nearly 3 decades. Through his job losses, through his moods, through the years when money was tight, and he took that stress out on her silence. She helped raise children who called him a great father, without ever seeing what their mother quietly carried, so that image could remain intact. She never complained publicly, never embarrassed him, never let the outside world see the loneliness she ate for dinner every night alongside whatever she had cooked for everyone else, because that was what her generation was taught. Love looks like you stay, you sacrifice, you endure, and you call it commitment. But here's what nobody prepared her for, and this is the part that will stay with you long after this story ends. The moment she found out about the other woman, she sat down at that kitchen table, the same table where she had helped with homework, hosted holidays, celebrated anniversaries, and she felt something completely unexpected move through her. It was not grief, it was not rage, it was relief. And that relief scared her more than the betrayal did, because it meant that somewhere deep inside she had been waiting for a reason to finally stop. And that reason had just walked through the door wearing another woman's perfume. She did not cry that day. She made a phone call to her sister, packed one bag, and walked out of that house with the same quiet dignity she had walked through it with for 28 years. Not once did she look back, because she had already spent far too much of her life looking back and wondering if things would change, when the real question she should have been asking all along was whether she deserved better. And the answer to that question had always been yes. She just needed long enough to believe it. He called, of course. They always call when the comfortable life they built on someone else's sacrifice suddenly disappears. He used every word in the book. Sorry, mistake, meant nothing. I choose you, please come home. But she had heard versions of those words before in smaller moments. And she knew now that sorry without permanent change is just a strategy to restore comfort, not a genuine desire to be different. She started over at 54 years old, which sounds terrifying until you realize that starting over at 54 with wisdom, self-knowledge, and the bone-deep understanding of exactly what you will and will not accept is actually one of the most powerful positions a human being can stand in. And she stood in it with both feet. Today, she wakes up in a small apartment that is entirely hers, makes coffee exactly the way she likes it, and sits in silence that feels like peace instead of punishment. And she will tell you something most people never expect to hear. The best years of her life did not happen in that marriage. They are happening right now.